a mistake that people would make at the store back in the day is say they get in, they're door guys, and then they get passed, and they just don't leave.
Yeah.
That's not, if your whole comedy life lives and dies at one club. You're not, dude. That's the biggest risk.
The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
Welcome back to Pain Management. I am Jimmy Moynihan. I'm joined here by my co-host Roderick McDaniels, and we have McDaniel.
Yeah, McDaniel.
I didn't say it. All right. Roderick McDaniel. And we're joined today by our very special guest, Matt Edgar. Thanks for coming.
You.
Thanks for having me.
What's up, man? How you doing, bud?
Great to be here. Thanks for this is awesome.
Dude, I was disturbed because I told him, I said, I knew Matt, but I don't think we follow each other on Instagram at all, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't notice it until
I wanted to, a few months back, I wanted to make a post or something like, hey, if you're a comedian who follows me, DM me so I could follow you back. Because I want I don't want comedians to think I'm not trying to follow them.
Yeah.
Just like when I get it, I don't look at who it is and
right.
You know what I mean? But I think comedians should all I like the community thing,
Right.
Yeah, man. I really have let my Instagram go, man, because sometimes I'll be looking at people that follow and I'll be like, oh, that's a lot of people there. I don't know any of these people.
2016, I had a friend, or he's still my friend, but he's in a band, and he at the time was doing the social media for his band as they were kind of up and coming. Now they're killing it, but before that, he was the guy. He's the bass player, but he would also do the Instagram, and he found a technique that you basically follow a bunch of people that go to your shows or go to those kind of markets, and statistically a bunch are going to follow back.
Right.
So he was looking at my social media, it was so bad. He was like, dude, you could do way better than, let me just take it for you. Let me do my thing and see how this goes. So in 2016, he followed a bunch of college students because that was kind of his demographic.
Yeah.
It's they like us, they're going to like your comedy. And so literally thousands of people, and then and I got a bunch of follows back from it. It kind of worked,
dude. That's cool.
But over the years, it's I'm who are these fucking people? I said, oh, Alabama. If it's from if it's from southern Nashville,
do you mute them?
What? No, I unfollow them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm watching them all get knocked up, all get pregnant, some get divorces.
Those are my actual fans.
Your fan.
Yeah.
Real fans.
And then a lot of them, because a lot of them are people that didn't follow me back. So if I look and they don't follow me back, it's oh, that was someone he was fishing, didn't get. Oh, well, I don't need to follow him.
Yeah. Hell no.
But every now and then I'll scroll. I'm who's this person with a kid that I don't some random Alabama fucking. I don't know what the school is, but.
My favorite so far are the people that I'm on number 3 right now, where I've done shows and a lady was pregnant on the front row and I caused her to go into labor. And so
they got to name the kid after you.
I don't want anybody to do that yet, but man, that would be badass now that you mention it. Mm-hmm. But now I'm in this kick where it's I follow so many of these people and then their family will know the story. So then their family member follows oh, that's the guy that was at the comedy show that made Priscilla laugh till she went into labor. And I was like, wow. Oh, so I'm Uncle Rod to this kid that he doesn't know he has a black uncle in
Holy
Texas.
Shit.
So yeah, I love those, man. That's my family.
You broke her water.
Pretty
3
good.
times.
3 times.
Yeah, it's on my LinkedIn.
You're like God, dude.
I want to put it on my LinkedIn that I'm a midwife. I just want to put if you're close.
Just throw on my YouTube.
Yeah, and tell her to come out to the show. She gets in free and we can get that baby out. Come on. Bring
it right up front, just like this. Just into the vagina.
Come on, mama. We got you.
You get bitches pregnant and make them give birth.
Well, pretty good. The Lord blesses some of us with a role. That's fine. I'm trying not to get anybody else pregnant. That's my new role in life. We're done.
Yeah.
We're shutting this baby factory down. If you get pregnant now, that baby's Jesus. That's a miracle baby. Because I didn't do it. I'm not doing it anymore. Dude, thank you seriously for coming on the show, man. What else is going on with you lately?
Just all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, living that fucking. We just started a new year. This is your first episode this year. Look at that, right? Am I right? You guys haven't recorded it. We're what's the date? Sixth?
Yeah.
6 days
First
into the
one.
new year. This is going to be an awesome year.
It's
This
gonna
is
be a good
my
one.
18th year in comedy.
Wow.
Coming up in May or some shit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, dude, and I'm just enjoying this time. I had a great New Year's Eve, had a great fucking, last year was dope. This year's pretty getting kicked off all right. Podding right out the gate.
Pretty good.
I love that shit. So, but to answer your question, anything new? I mean, it's hard to say. Like, you guys don't know anything about me, so it's all kind of new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So where do I start? Like,
I know what Jimmy's going to hit you with.
Well, you seem like a very positive person. How does that help you?
Well, when bad things happen, there's less of a negative impact.
Yeah.
So that's good.
For sure.
But I always say, like, positivity, happiness, that takes effort.
Yeah.
You don't just, you got to earn the positivity. You got to earn the happiness. It's not, maybe some of our brain chemistry, you just get it, for free. And that's great. But I think most of us have to, like, do stuff to remain positive.
Right.
I got really good at looking at the bright side, man, I ate, the first time I ever had mushrooms was like 2011, like summer. I was in Joshua Tree. And I was really scared to do it. I had also started smoking weed that same year. So I'm 25 years old. I'd never really done drugs. Wow. And I'm out in Joshua Tree with my friends, and I was scared to try this thing. I had this horrible phobia of throwing up. Like, it was like a real life phobia. Like, I would make myself throw up, just completely healthy, getting scared. Like, what if I do? What if I ate something and the food poisoning's developing right now? And it was a weird psycho thing that I had for a while. But so going into mushrooms, it's like, like that could happen. You could throw up on mushrooms, right? So I kind of knew that going in. And I was freaking out, but I had this jug of water with me. And when I would start getting scared, I would take a sip of water. And so throughout the night, I'm drinking this water. And I'm drinking a lot of water, this whole 6 hours of just drinking. But every time I looked at this jug, it was half full. So finally I said something like, man, this jug has been half full for, well, that's what they say, right? Yeah. The glass is half full. Yeah. And then I really understood what that meant, where when something's wrong, you're usually looking at the part of the glass that's empty. But no matter what, I guarantee you there's a whole half of the situation that is full. And I don't know why, maybe the mushrooms obviously and but something, it stuck. The glass is always half full. It's an old saying. It's hacky, but somehow that got imprinted in my brain that night. Yeah. And it's always been there. So not to say I don't get negative, not to say I don't get bummed, but my recovery is pretty quick. Like, I can really go like, all right, well, here are all the things that I still got. Though they say like gratitude is like the key to happiness.
Bro,
but it's hard. Sure. I don't think that comes natural. I think it's like you spend years rewiring your brain to think this way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because if you look around, man, even like on TV, movies, music, most things that you watch are going to tell you about what you don't have. Mm-hmm. Like social media in itself is people showing you what you don't have and how much better their whole plot of the life is. And then you're like, well, I want that. And then the thing that helped me when I did mushrooms is like, I have this thing I want, and it's not what everybody else wants. And if I can just maintain this thing I want, we're good. And that's all. I'm not trying to compare like, hey, so-and-so's got so many specials. Wait, Roderick, you got specials too. What does that matter? It didn't change your life, so keep moving.
Well, I think
what's that thing you want?
Yeah, well, we're creators. Like we make jokes and stuff. And I think when it's very easy, and may I say amateur, to even think of it like, what other people have and why not me? Like, dude, I've been doing this so long. I've gotten things that funnier people should have gotten, and a lot of unfunnier people have gotten things I should have gotten. And there's no rhyme or reason, or there could be, but you're going to go down a rabbit hole to find it. And at the end of the day, you land in the same place. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. The most professional thing you could do is just focus solely on the next joke. Everything else is noise.
Yeah.
Like, it's all complicated. Keep it simple. The next joke. Because with that next joke, that will give you everything you need to get to the next part of your journey. The next joke will make you better at comedy. You're going to get better. It's going to create neural pathways and a little more comfort. You're going to get better off the next joke, literally. And it's going to translate to money. I guarantee you, down the road somewhere, you're going to make more money off that next joke.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you just focus on that?
Yeah.
It's simple.
It's very simple.
So when you say I'm like positive, it's like, it's not that, it's positive, but it's more like I live a simple life. I keep it simple. And believe me, there's chaos all around. I see it. I get caught in it. But at the end of the day, I'm just thinking about the next joke always. And I shouldn't say I always have. I got to there by like just practicing because like I said, you earn it. You earn positivity. You earn happiness. So now my brain's kind of wired to do that. So yeah, I mean, everything doesn't matter as much as the next joke. And that's fun.
That's a lot of fun.
Isn't that fun? You
Keeping
wake up
it
every
simple.
day. You have no idea what's going to flutter into your experience.
Yeah.
Whether it's a thought or something external that your comedy brain is going to be like, and that is food. And it's going to fuel you to the next thing. You don't know where it's going to come. You don't know when the joke that's going to change your life is going to come.
You don't.
No.
You just want to have you heard of the flow state where you're just in like this place where jokes can come in or you can think of something and you're just in like I feel like if I remembered that the next joke's the most important thing, get into that.
Yeah. And
flow.
I think habits are important, like creating habits for that, because writing, the hardest part is like getting started.
Yep.
You got to just not worry about like, if you're just going, like for one, what helps me, listening to my set from the night before.
That's
the
what I
first thing
do.
I do, because that's going to put you in your comedy brain. That's the closest you're going to get to stage.
Yeah.
Like without being on the stage. That's the closest you're going to get, is like listening to it and like putting yourself back where you were last night.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, just for better or worse, doesn't matter how the set went, you're going to think of different ways to approach these individual jokes, all the little nuances that it takes to make things pop perfectly.
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity to do it again. Try it this way next time. You're working.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, like you need it, when you're done with that set, you even just listening to it, when you're done, know that you just did something for yourself. Like that's work. You just got a piece of your job done for the day.
That's wild. Cause man, when I write, I put on those 8-hour thunderstorm videos on YouTube, and I'll be at my computer, and on this screen is that thunderstorm playing. That's the only sound going in the room. And then I'll have a Google Doc open. And every time I open the doc, and I got a bunch of these, what I do is I go, hey, what would be your next album? Write the intro.
Yeah.
How do you want it to start? And it's just this blank piece of paper, and I'm listening to the thunderstorm, and then I just write that intro. There are probably 32 of those things that I've written out in just the last few months where I go, I don't like this one, but Jesus Christ, that one line right there. So I just kind of, every now and then I'll group them into a folder and I'll start going through them. And then I'll be like, I need to do something with these one day. Never have I ever consciously said, I'm going to do something with this one from this one. No, I was on stage. I was in the zone.
Yeah.
That line popped up in my head that I'd read, and I used it in the spur of the moment. And then I go, well, now that's part of the set.
There you go.
But I write weird, man. Like I like your idea of like, let me go listen to my last set. No, I'm listening to a thunderstorm because I love being cozy.
Yeah.
I love cozy games. I love cozy settings. I am basically a walking Starbucks commercial. I have a little cubby hole in my office where there's a bookshelf behind me and my little desk. And I get into that little cubby hole and I play a thunderstorm and I'm like, I turn up a little Christmas lights and I'm just happy.
Dude, a big part of this is learning what your own process is.
Yeah. And I just love that sound, man. It really, like, it gets me just like, hey, I'm ready. The door, nobody's coming in here. I can feel, I do kind of the meditation therapy, where you're like, hey, I'm here. I'm right now. I can feel the breeze blowing across my skin. I feel the quiet of the room. I hear the hum of the fan.
Damn.
I hear the thunderstorm.
Then you write comedy?
And then I'm just like, They're right. And then, but sometimes the stuff comes out and it's just like, well, that was a diary entry. Or that's an emo song.
Well, you got candles lit, and
I really should like candles
curtains
because I
in the
need Yankee
wind.
Candle to sponsor my writing.
Yeah.
I need them to I'd sell out tomorrow.
It'd be funny if an actual thunderstorm like started approaching and he just starts killing it.
Yeah, like, right, greatest album.
Yeah,
double trouble.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be.
He's
March
checking
or
the weather
May.
like, Tuesday's a
Tornado?
tornado with a chance of destroying.
Boy, here I come, Comedy Central. Hurricane Mac. Yeah, I love that, man. I'll get cozy with my little thing, and I'm just like, yeah, that's my writing area.
Sounds real nice. Do you listen to your sets though?
What was weird this year, I barely would ever listen to my sets.
Really?
I have so many videos of sets that I've recorded in audio, and I would never
It's really
listen to them.
helpful.
Well, yeah, this year what happened was somebody recorded one of my sets at the Green Room, and it was just an unhinged set. We laughed about it. Scott Wharton, Connor, everybody was like, that was the most unhinged thing I'd ever seen you do. And one of the other comedians was on there and said, yeah, I recorded the whole thing. And we were like, we thought it was just gone. You know, it's just one of these weird stories we had. No, they sent me the video and I went back and I watched it. And it was a masterclass to me, myself. And like, oh, when you really just let go and just have fun in the moment. Like I went out there, I didn't know what the first joke was going to be. I didn't know what the first line was going to be. I had no idea where the joke was going. I just let myself go in that moment. And it was some of the best shit I've done in a long time. And I was like, I probably overthink a lot of comedy when I'm on stage. It's the worst, man. Because, you know, you're wanting to make that pop. You're trying to entertain the audience. You want to be good for the audience. There's so much stuff that goes through my head sometimes when I'm up there. But every now and then, the best thing I can do for the audience is go out there and just actually have fun, enjoying the job I've been blessed to do.
I mean, that's literally the big secret.
Yeah.
It's the fun. It's all about fun.
Because they can tell when you're not having fun up there, man.
Dude, if you can't bomb when you're having fun. And I'm not saying you're destroying and everything's in the pocket and timed out right, but you're definitely not bombing. If you're having fun, there's a connection.
Oh yeah.
And there's it's just, which is the hard part also, is maintaining the fun. Sometimes we have a bad mood, you know?
Right.
But I also go as far as saying in the writing process, it's all about fun too. You got to have fun in the writing and like stop trying to think about what's funny. Think about what's fun. What funny is subjective. You'll run around in circles trying to figure out what everybody else is going to laugh. Yeah. When you think, what is the most fun thing to say about this? I guarantee you it's going to land on the funniest thing.
Right, it's going to be funny.
Because you're a funny guy. So what's fun is funny.
Your brain will figure it out.
Follow the fun. Yeah. The fun will get you there.
Oh, yeah. 100%. That's a good way to look at it.
Well, it's all about fun. I mean, dude, we could have a way easier life. All of us could have a way easier life, way more stable income, families, all that stuff. You signed a contract, an unwritten one, and you gave the possibility of that up. You know, we're walking the walk, so you can't have it all. The glass is half full. So you gotta
we chose.
I walked away from that corporate job to come do this full time.
So you better have fun.
Have to.
Yeah. Like if you're not having fun and you're doing this, you're wasting yours and everyone else's time.
Yeah.
Learn to make your depression funny. That's the key. That's what
I think it's like.
That's a cool thing.
What you pull from? What's easiest to pull from? Like for me, I feel like insecurity is like really. It's good for comedy fodder, and I feel like it's almost an endless well because they're always going to find something new to be insecure about. So why don't you? I mean, at least for me, I look there. Or I now it's at the point where if I have an insecure feeling, I'm able to take a step outside of myself and look at it like, oh, that's just hilarious. If I just say that, you know, writes itself.
I find out something about myself new every year, man. Lately, I found out I like small women, like 4'7". I met a lady that was 4'7".
Nice.
And grown ass woman, she was she let me pick her up.
Oh, yeah?
And I picked her up like this. Like, I gave her uppies. Like, yay, up in the air, uppies. And as she was up in the air and I'm holding her, and I'm thinking, I'm strong. And now I'm only going to date women that are 4'7" in 2025. So.
See, I like taller. I like tall fucking.
I don't want no chick that can dunk on me, bro. I am insecure about that.
I like that.
Oh, this bitch got moves, and she took me to the paint.
It's weird when they're. Did you say 4'7"?
4'7".
Sure that wasn't a child?
Yeah, I was Friday. She was a grown woman, but I was like, 4'7" is awesome.
4'7" is so short.
I know.
Was she Filipino?
No, she was a white girl.
What?
Yeah, tiny little white girl, man.
Pretty good.
She's going to actually be at our at the anime convention.
Is she
I'm going to
really?
introduce you to her so you can see her. I'm going to go, that's the one I picked up. Yeah.
She can be dressed
That's
up
the
as
one I
Mighty
picked
Mouse.
up.
Yeah, she has this thing she's wearing, and she was telling us about it. And she said, yeah, I got to get tights for this
Ant-Man.
outfit because it cuts here. And if I kick my leg the wrong way, everybody's getting flashed. And for a second, I was like, Lord, you've blessed me so many times already. You're not a good guy, Roderick. You were praying to get flashed by this little 4'7" woman. Yeah, it's learning new things about myself in 2025.
I mean, that's also putting in the work at reviewing OnlyFans. See, his appetite. He's finding what he likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'll give her about 3 loads.
Asian golf
3.5
girls.
loads.
That's what just learned that this year. Asian golf girls and black golf
I
girls.
like 3.5 loads.
3.5.
It's like a half a load.
Half a load. Yeah, sometimes it's like...
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Sometimes you get really bummed. You ever have just a... It almost doesn't even feel good?
Like you just shot dust?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called being 50. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to do a lot of work and sweating on top of you, lady, but you're just...
Yeah.
That's all you're getting is that the saddest little horn from New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's all I got. You don't have to worry about getting a kid out of me. I don't know why I told y'all that.
You're something else.
I'm trying, man. I'm just trying to survive, dude. Matt, here's one of the questions. I'm surprised Jimmy hadn't asked you yet, man. Do you have a mental health diagnosis?
When I was a kid, they told me I have ADHD. But then I always feel like nowadays you go on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and it's like everybody's got it.
Everybody.
Yes.
And I hate how people identify with their diagnosis, and it also becomes an excuse. Like the autistic thing right now. Like really, we all got it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I swear to God, when people are like, "Well, I'm autistic," I'm like, "You're allowing yourself to be an asshole."
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't make eye contact, and people just think I'm rude, but really, I'm just autistic.
It's bullshit. It's just an excuse to be annoying.
Yeah, it's just an excuse to be kind of a dick.
Yeah.
There's a girl I know, and she was like, I was at her job, and she's like, everybody here doesn't like me because like I'm really direct, and they just think I'm rude, but really I'm just autistic. I'm like, nah, you're a bitch, dude. Yeah, I can tell. I can already tell. Like, maybe you're also autistic, but nah, I don't buy that. Look we're all adults. It's like you hold yourself accountable, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter that I have ADHD. Sometimes I have to focus. If I just if I really lean into it and then I don't do anything because I'm too unfocused, like, well, I have ADHD, just give me money.
And you should still take account for, the things you do and take responsibility for your actions still.
Well, you and I both have major depressive disorders, and there are times where it's just like, I am so sad I don't want to do this job. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to write. I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the things I'm responsible for. Mm-hmm. And I cannot just tell people, well, I was going to write today, but I had the big sad, so I laid in bed and listened to the Smiths for 3 hours. I don't know. Nobody cares. One, I'm a man. Nobody gives a shit if I'm sad. Get up. So that's the other one. You got to get up. Do your thing, bro. You can't. Well,
it's like this is like when I say that you have to earn it. Like, dude, I know, man. Believe me, I know. And it's not to say I've never felt like that. But like sometimes you got to run. You got to sweat, and then sometimes you got to find inspiration somewhere. I'm a big look at when you think you have a writer's block or any kind of block in anything, you lack inspiration. You need to watch a fucking Tarantino movie, or you need to listen to a fucking Blink song or whatever it is that gets you in the thing. Like you need to find the inspiration again. Listen to good comedy. You know what I mean? Like listen to somebody who you grew up watching is the reason why you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's a good idea.
You're too in your own thing, and you're not there's all this resource around you. But you're so buried in yourself, and that's okay. We do that. I'm not shaming anybody for feeling that way.
Yep.
I just think that when you feel that way, feel it, sometimes stay in bed. I get that. That's okay every now and then. But then, like, you know, while you're there, throw on fucking Jackie Brown or throw on something that, like, you remember why you like creating stuff.
Yeah.
Or a good song or a good album or, like, you know.
Yeah.
I love to watch other people. I used to never understand why my kids watch people play video games.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just get up and go play that video game? You know, that's so weird to me. But now I get that. Like, there are times where I'm just like, I will watch somebody else play a game and I'll be like, huh, I'm not watching this to be entertained by how they play this game. I'm looking at a new way that they approach that game than I would have. And then when I start seeing how they approached it, and I said, well, I wouldn't have done that at that level.
Yeah.
I would do something else at that level. You know what? It's pissing me off watching this. I got to get up and do that now because I want to know what happens if I do the other thing than he did at that decision point. And so that sometimes that's moved me. I'm just like, I got up. Like, I got to go try this. I got to go write about this. Other thing I like to do, I break out of my circle. Sometimes I like to get away from entertainment. One of my guilty pleasures on YouTube, I love watching people do video diaries about religion. So somebody will watch, they'll be talking about, hey, Jesus gave me this word, or hey, here's why I think, it'll be Christians saying, here's why I think this TV evangelist is a crock of crap. And those are fascinating to me because I'm like, bro, you're either going to be the most loved Christian or the most hated, or you're about to find how many people agree with what you said about this mega pastor. And I find those fascinating, but then I'm watching them and then that'll make me get out of bed. Like, did it say that in the Bible? I'm about to get the Bible out and study this. Let me see if it actually says that. And so it gets me, sometimes my inspirations, like you say, it's not always going to be comedy, not movies. Sometimes Heretic, I watched that for the first time. It's on my Plex server last night. Fascinating film, A24, Hugh Grant. Phenomenal film if you haven't seen it. 100% recommend. But I had more fun. I was working and I was trying to churn out a video game review. And as it got so good, I moved the review to this screen and moved the movie to the middle screen. Like, fuck this, I'll write that later. I got to pay attention to this film so much.
Yeah.
Like it was there as noise to kind of get me through. And I was like, no, let's take a break from what we're doing. I don't feel like writing. Let's watch this. Because this is speaking to me somehow. And now it's one of those things where I ended up writing like this setup. I want to explore Christianity as a comedian and comedy. I want to write a set called The Bible Study. But it's just like as a Christian, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus, the whole thing. But there are some things that I was told as a child that like really way more fantastical than Harry Potter. If you read the Bible, there's just some stuff in the Bible where you go, that's wow.
I feel like the Bible's at like a all-time high right now. I'm seeing it in my algorithm a lot.
Oh,
like,
it's showing up everywhere,
back.
man.
Yeah.
They're bringing Christianity back.
Yeah. Like white kids are back in garages making punk music.
Fuck yeah.
Emos on the rise. Yeah. Get y'all out of the gun shop and back in your parents' garage with a guitar. That's where the world is healing.
Yeah, and Jesus is back.
Yeah, well, he never left. He was just the lead singer for Nickelback for a while. And that was when I loved him, man. Jesus had a great year with Nickelback. That's what I think Chad Kroeger reminds me of. That's why he sang that song, Hero. That should have been Jesus' theme song. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
That's my thought on that.
You know, it's funny. You guys take Nickelback seriously out here.
Oh, well, it's Texas. They take a lot of things seriously here.
Because you got to know, in
Yeah.
Long Beach, California, Nickelback was a punchline.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
When I first got here, they came through town. Or was it Creed? Both of those are interchangeable, by the way. It's either both Creed and Nickelback were huge fucking jokes.
It was Nickelback.
Okay. Yeah. So Nickelback came into town and my friend's like, let's go to Nickelback. Okay.
Yeah,
like, no, we're going. No. Like, what?
Yeah, no, seriously.
Did you go?
No.
Oh, I would have went, man.
I was invited too, and I thought like, oh, they're going as a joke. They're just legitimate Nickelback fans.
Bro, how are y'all not? No, I'm a black dude, and I even see the greatness of Nickelback.
I just don't. I never bought in.
Yeah.
First of all, this is the problem I've had with white America. Let's talk about this. Y'all have some of the greatest bands, and y'all don't even respect them. Let's just put some respect on bands. Here's my rant today: white bands that should be respected: Nickelback, Creed, Alter Bridge, Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I completely agree. Third Eye Blind's a little. That guy was a rapper. What's his name?
What was that dude's name?
No, I know his name. Jenkins. Something Jenkins. Andrew Jenkins.
The lead singer of Third Eye Blind?
Stephen Jenkins.
Stephen
or Stephen?
Stephen Jenkins. Andrew Jenkins. Stephen Jenkins. Yeah. Yeah, Stephen Jenkins. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I love that band. I always love that band. I listen to that. There's I love live shit, like live albums.
Oh yeah,
they have a really good live album called like the Summer of or the Gods of Summer tour.
Oh, nice,
it's a sick ass live album. Dude. But yeah, that's a great band. I mean, we look at sometimes even for white people, things are too white.
This is what I've noticed, by John. That is a very true statement. Mm-hmm. Like. Especially here in Austin.
And maybe it appeals more to somebody else that's not white because since it's so white, it's too white for us that to you it's so white, but you can look at it from afar and be like, that's enough. That's good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, that's how I feel about like John Mayer. If I'm in the grocery store and I hear your body is a wonderland, hey, this is me over by the bread aisle. I'm grooving with that.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
Dude, I love 90s pop rock. Yeah. That's a Dashboard Confessional. I've seen him twice in concert.
Me too.
Man, Chris Carrabba was amazing.
Chris Carrabba's the man.
Oh man,
dude, yeah,
those first couple albums.
Yeah,
I love white pop
first
rock.
One, Swiss Army Romance.
The Swiss Army Romance, bro.
Sleep with all the lights on.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you how I saw him do that. Amarillo, Texas. He came out. Further Seems Forever was on tour. Mm-hmm. And I think they were playing with Embodiment that year on tour. And the opening act was Chris came out to a whole stage with just candles, his acoustic guitar, and he did Swiss Army Romance the week before he dropped.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so I was just like,
what is
and
this?
It had like covers of it was still on Deep Elm. Mm-hmm. So he had this like the little cardboard CD. I was like, buy one.
Oh, I love those cardboard CDs.
Oh, dude, bring those back. First of all, I love CDs.
Yeah, me too.
We've lost something as a generation when we went all digital because
you don't get the lyrics. You don't
own your shit anymore.
You don't get the packet and then that feeling of putting it in the player for the first time. Mm-hmm. You just buy it.
Yeah.
Woo.
My favorite thing used to be looking into the credits on the album and going, who did they tour with? What other bands do they think? They're thinking because they tour with them. And I would always look at rap groups and then like alternative rock groups, emo groups and see who they think. And then I go, well, I need to go check that band.
Yeah, it's a good way.
I'm going to go, let's who this is. They thanked them. I want to know who they toured with. And so.
Yeah, I got into a lot of my favorite bands from going to see a band and their openers got me. That's why, dude, like love your time as a feature because like you don't know who like you're gonna really resonate and they get to say that hipster thing where I saw him open for like Fall Out Boy, dude. Like Fall Out Boy was an opener for this band called The Reunion Show in this little room called Chain Reaction. Justin knows what's up in Anaheim. And I saw them. I went to go see the Reunion Show, which most people probably have never even heard of.
Right.
This band from Chicago, Fall Out Boy, was opening for them. I was like, "What? This is special. These guys are special." Bought their album right there, and then every time they'd come in to play Chain, they started headlining Chain, and I'm there. And then like I felt like I grew with them. And then there's a point where the first time they were ever on MTV. it was like 5 a.m. or something like that, and they didn't have a tour bus. They had their van, and what was cool about this place, Chain Reaction, is like these bands, they're not so famous that they can't be seen or touched, or they're right there in the parking lot when you come in. You see these dudes. To me, in high school, like these guys are rock stars, but they're like broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to know them a little bit, and then like I remember they did this thing. 5 a.m. MTV2, just little interview that probably lasted 3 minutes. Later that week, they opened for Less Than Jake at the Anaheim House of Blues, and I went. And some of the dudes in the band were hanging out, and like me and some friends went up to him, like, dude, we saw you on MTV. They're like, you guys watch that? Like, it meant everything to them. That like, yeah, dude, we got up early to watch that, and like, it felt like we're all in this together. You know what I mean? Like,
I miss that.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
I miss that so much, man.
I watched
the 90s were a magical time. Early 2090s.
Yeah, that had to have been like
time,
that
bro.
early 2000s. There's this bracket like 2000 to like 2006, I would say, that I think my most musical influences were of that time. And not to say bands that were probably older than those times, you know, like,
oh yeah,
but like that's when I got in. That's when like my taste really solidified itself. And I was an emo head. I loved the pop punk. But you know, I started the first music I ever listened to was R&B, like 90s R&B.
Oh,
so
was it?
I got my mom for Christmas one year. I might have been like 10 or something. She got me a Walkman, right?
Yeah.
And 2 CDs.
Ooh.
Velvet Rope by Janet Jackson.
Solid album. And Boyz II Men 2.
Oh, wow.
And I had those are my 2 CDs for like what felt like years, because you're a kid, it seems like forever. But that's all I had is that. I listened to the whole thing, then the other one, whole thing, then the other one, all day and night. When I'm going to sleep at night, while I'm in the shower, like that. Those 2 albums held me over. And then once I was able to buy my own shit, it was like 112. Old Usher, a Jagged Edge, you know, like all the, and so it stayed in that R&B for so long until I moved schools in high school.
Yeah.
And my buddy was like, "This is so gay." Like, why are you? And he showed me Offspring and then Sum 41 and Blink 182.
Yeah.
And then from that point, I was like, "Oh, this is like what that R&B is for white dudes."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same soulful thing. Mm-hmm. We call it angst, but like, you know, we're not like those were very adult love themes. And, but so is like fucking the Get Up Kids, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so I was able to jump from this R&B thing to like emo music. It was like seamless transition.
Yeah, no. It was the first time I heard the Get Up Kids do Overdue.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell, I love my dad. He's right there. And I still love this song. Yeah. Dude, we got to bring back 90s and early 2000s music.
Oh, it's back, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, like, so I had heard that like trends, when they happen, 20 years later, they wrap back around. So when I was in high school, so from 2000 to 2004, there was this weird 80s like throwback thing that was going on. It was in culturally 80s like had come back. GTA Vice City's out, and all these old like bands from back then, Flock of Seagulls and like Duran, all these 80s things were like, we had it in high school. It was like cool again, like for, like back then to me, like, and I'm like 20 years younger than this stuff. Now the kids are getting into fucking Death Cab for Cutie and like Blink is back and like these Green Day. It's like all those things that I listened to as like, this is my shit has come back.
It's retro now.
My parents' music, when I was a little kid in the early 70s, man, is now called yacht rock. That's the only thing that made me mad, because I was like, we did not own a yacht when we were listening to that.
Well, because another thing that spawned in the last decade is playlist culture. Like, like the genre, rather than be a genre of music, it's a genre of playlist. So like yacht rock is kind of like what probably started that, because, well, no, I would say like new wave as a genre. What does new wave mean? But you know what it is. Yeah. Same with yacht rock. You can't really, it's not a sound, but you know what it is.
You know it from the 70s, because the Doobie Brothers are so different than Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
But they can both exist on that yacht rock playlist.
So true.
You know it when you hear it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that used to make me mad. I said, man, this is my childhood music, man.
Yeah. I love it. I love yacht rock. I mean, I love yacht rock. That's kind of my go-to when I like to have music on in my place when I come home, like already on by the time I come home. So when I leave, I put something on, and it's usually yacht rock. I love coming home to yacht rock.
That's not bad, dude. I just love hearing Michael McDonald's voice. Because when I was a kid, okay, I'm not in love anymore. I used to love that stupid song. It come on, I'd be like, yeah, he's right. I forget.
Wait, so what is yacht? What is it? What does a song have to be like to be yacht?
Well, it's a vibe. It's like that.
Vibe.
It's like a yacht-like vibe. Like you're on a
Right.
yacht.
I'll send you
Like
my
on a
playlist of 70s
You're drinking white
music.
wine, eating
Right.
shrimp. You don't have
Right.
shoes or socks on because you're
Hell
on a
yeah.
yacht. You know, you're dressed nice, kind of breezy.
good.
Christopher Cross sailing is playing in the background.
I got it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Steely Dan is
Steely
all.
Dan's a big one.
Man, that's a nice life.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
great
it
life,
is, man.
But it's an even better vibe, and you get to now we playlisted it. You know,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't listen to full albums as much anymore, which is a shame because that's how you should be listening to a lot of albums.
I don't think every artist makes albums that way, though. I think there's
Anymore.
certain like albums or certain artists that every album was a concept. It was like every album there was a concept behind it,
Concept
but
to it,
then there
yeah.
was, you know, track to track, and it's all good. I mean,
well, you know, the music
I
industry
guess.
changed y'all. You guys were
Yeah.
the generation that got programmed by the music industry because when I was growing up, there was the whole idea of an album. Like I would buy Iron Maiden to
Yeah.
hear the whole
Right.
album, and this story is going to tell me. Where you guys, the music industry was more about how many hits can we churn off of this thing? And that's partly because of how big Michael Jackson's Thriller was and how many songs he put in the top 10 from
Right.
it. So the focus went from making what he was trying to do was make the world's greatest R&B pop album.
mhm.
Yeah.
And that was the whole concept to how many hits can we stick on this thing? Radio viable singles.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
guys grew up with that, man, but it kind of messes it up, man. But sometimes that's a great thing, man. You just
What-
find that thing you love from your childhood and enjoy the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I just saw Blink 182
When?
a few months ago in San Antonio.
How is that?
Nice.
It's fucking.
How-
You know, it's crazy because like I swear I manifest this shit because when I was a kid, Blink was like my favorite band, right? Tom DeLonge was like my hero,
Right.
You know? And you know, I always I just like I remember so before they came back together, I have these friends, right? I have a core group of friends at home. That we all would go to Blink. We always listened to Blink. They were in bands. They would play Blink, all this stuff.
Right.
I had this friend, Nick Weathers. He's so interesting, man. Same age as us. His dad was a truck driver. And so in high school, he got his trucker's license to go out and work with his dad.
Oh,
So-
cool.
and then while he was doing, and the trucker, they'd haul, the company was called Stagecoach, and they would haul big stadium music like equipment, so lighting rigs and things and they would work for like Journey or Def Leppard and these big
Oh, wow.
old school classic rock bands. And Nick would be there with his dad, but he picked up on things backstage. Like he learned how catering works, created a catering company that became successful in high school. And then he eventually got into tour buses, and he bought some tour buses. And this guy, it's like crazy. Now he owns like a fleet of tour buses, and it's all like
Yeah.
Travis Barker's a client of his, and it's crazy how the world's client. Well,
Crushing it.
so he's been working with Travis Barker for a while. Travis's manager hits him up one day and was like, "Hey, so I was wondering if you knew of if you have any like studio space in the Huntington Beach area. We're trying to find something between Hollywood and San Diego because on the DL, Blink 182 is getting back together with Tom DeLonge, and they're going to go on tour, so we need a space for them to practice." My buddy lied. Yep, I got a place. He's like, "Oh, great. Yeah, I'll link you up. We'll figure it out." And then he gets off the phone, finds a fucking place right there, signs a 4-year lease, and goes and does all the construction, makes it ready for Blink. And then Blink 182 is now performing in my friend's warehouse.
yeah.
And
Sometimes
so like
you just got to make
I
your
have a-
world, bro.
I have a friend who like literally my buddy Mikey, who's just one of one of the most profound musicians I know. He's always about Blink. He was always playing Blink and Jimmy World and that shit. He's so good. Drums and guitar. Could hear it and play it. And then he would send me these videos of like him in the office of this warehouse, and you'd hear Blink like in the back perform, like practicing. So cool. And then sometimes he would send me a video of like him behind Travis's drum kit doing stuff, or like playing with the bass and stuff. Like he's playing with their shit while they're gone. It's like shh. And he's just sending me this. It's like surreal to see I grew up watching this kid learn music by playing Blink songs. So he's got their actual equipment. And then I'm thinking maybe I'll get to meet him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I have this gig. This is when I lived in Hollywood. I had this gig in Bishop, California. Just some small mountain town. It gets canceled. So now I don't have anything to do Friday night. So I have a spot at the Comedy Store on Thursday. I get there. Emily LaFord, who's the talent coordinator of the Comedy Store, pulls me inside and is like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "Well, now nothing. I just got a gig canceled." She's like, "Okay, I need you to get here early. I'll give you a spot. All right, you're gonna get a spot. I'll give you a spot, but I need you to get here early because Tom DeLonge's coming in, and I want you to be like the liaison." To Tom.
Wow.
Like get him here, take him in the back cool lounge bar area, make sure he's got everything he wants, find him a seat, and then I'll throw you up and all that stuff. And so the next day I'm there and Tom DeLonge pulls up and we're just friends for the night.
That's awesome.
And I swear this came from my mind. Like I wanted it so bad.
That's manifestation.
We have the same shoes on. We're meshing about that. A U2 shirt on because I knew he loves U2. And he's like, "Dude, I love you too." And I was like, I know. I know everything about you. I'm your best friend. We're smoking. Rachel, my girl, was so cool. She's like, "You guys want to smoke a blunt?" And Tom's like, "If I smoke, I'm going to start saying stupid shit." I always say stupid shit. Let's fucking smoke that thing.
Wow.
Now we're smoking with Tom DeLonge, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. Oh, and I called my friends from home, Mikey and a few other guys, let them know Tom's coming in. So they came and met me. Now we're all hanging with Tom DeLonge. We're all smoking weed.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, showbiz.
I swear it started in my mind, though. It's like something I wanted. I saw it. Because once I could see it, because what my friend makes this relationship with Blink, then I start seeing it in the mind's eye where like, you know what? I bet you I'm going to get close. I don't want to ask. I have an anti-asking policy for everything in my life. But then like maybe since I'm so close, the proximity would bind us together.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think Comedy Store. And what's cool about it was I knew what Tom was doing because if you remember, they came back at a Coachella, right? Yep. Coachella, they make their return. They do 2 Coachellas, like 1 week and then the next week. Well, in between is when he came by. And that's because, and I know Tom because like he's a funny guy. And he's probably going to watch some comedy to like get some inspiration because he's joking between stuff. So I watched his Coachella set they had a stream on YouTube. So I watched it and like he made jokes and I kind of like, I wouldn't say punched him up for him, but I knew like, if I ever met Tom, I'm going to tell him how funny this is. That's funny. Like, and then re-say it the way it should be said. You know? So we did all that stuff. You know what I mean? So like, and then he literally has Coachella a few days later goes and he's killing it in between, and it's like, wow, he made a little stop at the Comedy Store on his way.
Yeah, you know?
I love that, dude. I love when the universe works out for the homies, man. Like that.
Me too, man. Well, I think it's got you, man. I think if you believe in it, it's going to get you. And sometimes it does not seem that way. It seems like you're all alone, but this is where the glass is half full.
Yeah,
it's like you're not. Like just wait. Storyline.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about storyline. You guys watch pro wrestling ever? I love pro wrestling, man.
Best soap opera on TV.
It's the best soap opera, but the whole thing is like they're always long-term booking, as they call it. So like they're building these stars for later down the road. Like back when I was a kid, it was The Rock versus Triple H, right? And they'd have The Rock losing, and we'd all be so upset. But when you're older, you look back and you're like, well, The Rock eventually won. You know, they're setting it up to make you want it even more.
Where is he going to go over the top at?
Yes, where is he going to go over? Is it going to be Mania, or is he going to lose in Mania? You're like, no. But then the next one, when it happens, it's like they know how to. They're playing, but life is like that.
I applied for a writing job with them one time.
With
I
The Rock?
literally applied for a writing job with WWE.
Oh,
I
did ya?
wanted that job so bad. I was like, because when I saw the posting, I thought, there's no way this is real. And it was really, I had to go at the interview. They want to know that you follow storylines.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite WrestleManias? Those were questions. But
Right.
I was like, I want that job.
Yeah,
I want that job just to write those storylines every
Mhm.
week and hang out with you. It did work out. And, now we can look back at the news recently and go, well, that's good. I dodged some bullets probably.
It's funny when you get older or priorities land because I feel like I wouldn't take the job now.
Yeah. Like I can look back now and go, based on the information that I have right now.
No, I don't even care about the Vince stuff or the canceling.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's really just I don't think I'd be able to do stand up the way I need to do it.
Oh, yeah, no.
And that's not going to be second to anything.
Well, back when I started, you've been in at 18. This is year 23 for me. And so, back in the day when you started comedy, man, one of the weird things, I'm talking like 2000, 2002, everybody was trying to get to TV and write.
Yeah.
That was because, Seinfeld was kind of doing his thing. Everybody was like, Romano had dropped his Carnegie album. And
I love that album.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, everybody loves Ray, So it was kind of like everybody's like, you got to get to TV, you got to write. They wanted you to do all this comedy adjacent stuff. And I used to think, I probably ruined a lot of opportunities for myself when I was younger because I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to stand on a stage and tell my jokes. That was all. I didn't want to be a writer for TV or work on a TV show or sit in a writer. I just want to tell jokes on a stage.
Yeah.
And, then some people, you probably should have taken that opportunity. You should have taken it. And I was like, yeah, probably. But here I am 23 years later. I'm actually touring the way I want, meeting the people I want, living the life I want. I walked the path I was supposed to walk. And I didn't have to sell out or do anything weird to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you just kind of got to go, yeah, it took longer. It was the scenic route, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because I do the thing I always wanted to do, sit up on a stage and tell my jokes and make people feel better.
Right.
That was it. So yeah, no, but I get it, man. That you can't, sometimes you look at it and go, yeah, I'm not going to get to perform the way I want to. I'm not going to be near a club. I'm not going to get to go to the club as much as I want to with this gig.
Yeah. I got to live my wrestling dreams because we had a podcast, The Store Horseman. So we did it at the Comedy Store. It was me, Tony Hinchcliffe, Johnny Scortis, this dude, and my buddy Chris Burns, and this other guy, Josh Martin. And we started off in the basement of the Comedy Store, but then we realized that when these wrestlers are huge comedy fans, and this was like when the Comedy Store was like in its prime, and we would just reach out to these guys, be like, yo, why don't you come out, do our podcast? I'll get you into the, Rogan's here tonight. And they'd go, oh, fuck. And they'd come through.
Wow.
So we get these huge guests, and then we built relationships, and then we're invited to go to the events.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we would travel. Like we'd go to Royal Rumble every year, and then we'd do a show. We'd do a show in town, and then we'd go to the Rumble, and then we'd usually get access to all the things. And
that's so
and
neat.
I felt like I had lived that. And now I still do shows that are just pro wrestlers. Like I still like,
You ever gone to one of those schools?
No,
I did.
Oh, did you? I've been in the ring. I've taken bumps.
That bump in the ring. It is not as easy as it looks. They teach you to fall. Your first week is learning to fall.
We threw an actual wrestling show at the Comedy Store in the main room, where we brought a ring into the main room. And do you remember Enzo Amore? Enzo Amore is this wrestler. A few years ago, he was in WWE, but he helped us book it. And we had all these guys, these wrestlers who are now pretty fucking famous.
Whoa.
Yeah. And David Arquette wrestled. And
what?
Yeah, we basically were the announcers, and we had it in.
That was how I got the gig. I was the color commentator on the sideline for Top of Texas Wrestling, man, and it was great job, bro.
It's a fun thing, dude. I don't follow it like I used to, but it's crazy because like just through that and like I just have all these friendships with these guys that back then they were more like up and coming dudes. Now they're like in WWE and they're working big. Wow. And whenever it comes to town, I went to Raw a few months ago. It was here at the Moody Center.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We got to go backstage, and then they came and hung out with us at a bar after, some of the wrestlers.
Yeah, you're right in it.
Yeah. So I felt like I got my socks off.
You definitely did.
With the wrestling.
At that show, did they wrestle at the Comedy Store? So it was just straight up wrestling matches.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We booked it. We booked who was going to win and lose. We did the whole thing.
You did the
and these
whole
guys
storyline?
I'm telling you, some of these guys are huge wrestlers now.
Yeah.
Like they're
that's so
famous,
cool.
like millions of followers and all that, superstars. And some of them were kind of coming up back then, but some of them were pretty unknown. But we knew them because within the indie scene, they were they're getting big. But now they're like some of them are huge stars, and it's pretty cool.
San Antonio used to have one of the most killer indie scenes in wrestling.
Oh yeah. Texas is huge for wrestling.
Dude, it was, man. But I'm telling you, top of Texas was fun, okay? And a lot of those guys went on to try to get to NXT. But it blew me away when we got down here. I'm talking 2016 through 2018. Before the pandemic, the wrestling shows over in San Antonio were so top-notch for an indie scene, man. And the pandemic ruined so many things, bro. It ruined things and made some things better.
I went to Royal Rumble in San Antonio.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
2018 maybe. Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah, because I was still at EA. So yeah, it would have been 17 or 18. Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah.
It's right in that area. So I remember those 2 years very, like their scene was blowing up over there too in San Antonio.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many things going on around town too, because when Rumble comes in, the whole city does.
Everybody's got something for it, man.
I met the Undertaker the other night.
No,
hung out with him. Yeah, hung out with him for a little bit.
Where?
Mark Calloway. Tony had him on Kill Tony at the HEB Center.
Oh, that's so cool.
No,
it was really
right.
fucking
he is from
cool.
Here. He's from this area.
It's funny because when Tony does the thing where he goes, when he's giving you the rundown in the beginning of the show, and he'll say like, if you hear the sound of the cat, and Red Band, meow, like your time is up. You got to start wrapping it up. And if you go too long, you're gonna hear, and it's the West Hollywood Bear. Usually he'll say, you're gonna hear the West Hollywood Bear, but it's as he's setting it up this time, he's like, and if you go on too long, you're gonna hear it, and then the lights shut off. And he's, whoa, what's going on? And then, dong.
Oh no!
And everybody knows it's the Undertaker's music, and they're like, and then. It all, like, you could tell somebody's about to walk out, but nobody's thinking it's the actual Undertaker.
Right, they're just
that's too crazy. And sure enough, it is the Undertaker. And it just, man, that's how he started the show.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
And then he was a guest the whole time?
No, he literally just came out to be like, you better get off when your time's up. He was perfect, man. He's a great guy. He's just massive.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you guys you're tall.
Yeah.
Like, how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
6'2". Okay. Yeah. So to me, you seem tall, right? But then if you saw somebody who's like 6'5", 6'6", they're pretty tall, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine being 6'6", and you see somebody who's like 6'10". Mm-hmm. The Undertaker, it looked like if you see like the planets, that's this, and then there's Jupiter, and then there's huge, there are big people there that Taker towered over.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just insane to see him in the flesh, man. And when you shake his hand, your hand's too small. I guarantee you your hand's too small for that.
That's how I felt when I met my cousin.
It wraps all the way around your wrist. It feels weird. It feels like you're a baby and he's being nice.
Yeah, my cousin was Randall McDaniel, who played for the Minnesota Vikings, and he's like a second cousin. Hall of Famer, Pro Bowler. Yeah, first time I met him, I was just like, oh, y'all make McDaniel's in a much larger size than me. I'm the little guy in this meeting. Like, I was tiny compared to that man.
These athletes are huge.
Yeah, dude, he was a freak of nature,
like
man.
Aaron Judge is like 6. Like, baseball players are being built like football players.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. How baseball players
their bodies feel when you dab them up, dude. Some of these guys, I mean, dude, all the dudes that work at the mothership, they're all like jujitsu guys, like security guards. Yeah. And like, we play, like, we'll like ponying around, and it's like they're made of stone, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And they toy with me. When I go, I think I got them, they're letting me think that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they just easily
grab that
switch
shoelace and beat me.
Oh, brother. They're so talented. It's crazy that I get to hang out with these guys. But they're like, it's a different build. Like we're just normal people. These guys are literally
They're
like
machines,
made for combat, you know?
Yeah.
Sharp edges and fucking like they'll cut you. Like they could cut you with their own skin. It's like, yeah.
They know the angle to go in.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and talk about this because I know my friends have no idea about what comedy is. Like they talk to me about my life and they think it's so much cooler. But the first time I got to go up at the mothership, it felt amazing. Like just being on the mic. And then Adam coming up to me after I finished my set and inviting me back personally. Explain what that feels like working in there all the time for people, man.
Well, you know, for me, I started at the Comedy Store in 2007, right? And then I was a door guy. And then in 2011, I got passed, right? So now at 25 years old, I'm a paid regular. And the guy who passed me was this guy, Tommy Morris, who was the talent coordinator from like the early 2000s till 2014. And so in 2014, he gets replaced by Adam. Adam, I think around that time, around 2011, gets a job at the Comedy Store as just like a manager, like a house manager, right? So that's when I meet Adam. And then, you know, I don't really deal with him because he's dealing with the employees. I'm a paid regular. He becomes the talent coordinator. And we were like friends before he became the talent coordinator, like actual friends. Camping, mushrooms, like friends, you know? Yeah. And then he becomes a talent coordinator. So now we're dealing with each other in a more like, you know, professional thing. Well, we're still friends, but like, so he had, you know, he always kept me at the store and the store exploded, you know? And then the pandemic happens. Everybody moves here. I stay and I wait for the store to open. And I'm at the store. And Emily, who's the talent coordinator, which I have to say, as a paid regular, she probably gave me my best run there. We're the same age. We were in the same music. She's an emo head also. And so I think she like related to me better. So I got really good spots with her and she'd put me in good times. But you know, I had been there for so long that I felt it that my time at the store was over for now. I remember being a door guy and watching guys stay too long or watching, you know, people get bitter and watching, you know, people move away and then eventually come back even more powerful and stronger. And I knew something needed to change. And during the pandemic, you know, I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have comedy, obviously. There was just... It was literally, there was no way for me to make money. So I got a job delivering weed for this dispensary. And when I would drive around delivering weed, it was a great job. I mean, I could just literally just listen to whatever I want. I would listen to Rogan. And the club opens up and the store opens back up, but I still got this side gigs. I liked it and it was extra money. It wasn't COVID, you know, we come back from the pandemic, we're still in COVID. Like I'm still not working like I was. So I need this fucking job. And I would listen to Rogan talk about the mothership, but he was talking about all my friends. You know, these guys, we were all friends and they moved and I stayed and how fun it is at this club and how new it is and fresh it is. And I remember just driving, delivering weed going, man, I would kill it there. I just knew it. I mean, I saw it. I knew it. If only I just got there, I wouldn't have to deliver weed. I know I would work out there more. And then I came to visit, and I came to visit because we wanted to move. Me and Rachel, my girlfriend, we just wanted to move out here. Her best friend opened up the Sunset Strip. She's the owner with Red Band over there, because Christina, who they went to college together. So we had some people out here. Tony had been trying to get me to come out here for a while at that point. And so I came out and saw the club. And I asked Adam before I came out if they had any spots. I didn't know what their thing was. I didn't know if there a showcase or what they had, you know. And he's like, we'll find you something. He gave me Sunday and Monday, so the crew shows, 10-minute spots.
Lovely.
The first one, he wasn't there. Mind you, the whole pandemic, I never stopped doing stand-up. I was doing it in shady little underground stuff, writing, never stopped, right? So when I come to this crew show, he's not there, and I go up my first time in the Little Boy at Mothership, and I was surprised at how quickly I got them. Like the room design is perfect. So
that's great.
So I knew I'd get them, but I didn't realize it was going to be so quick. And then I had them and it was like, well, see, I knew this would happen, but Adam's not here. Fuck. Well, whatever. I got to feel it, right? The next night, Adam's there, and I go up, and I remember thinking like, fuck, what if I hope it's as good as last night. Yeah. Even better. It's just like, ooh, yeah. I mean, I've never at that point, I've been doing comedy like 16, 17 years. Right. So it's like, I'm not ever worried about it. I'm not worried about my sets ever. Mm-hmm. I'm always more or less worried about if I'm going to remember the new stuff and I'm working, right? Or if I'm going to have fun. Yes. Adam loved it, but there wasn't enough to get me. I don't think there was like this system, or I don't know what it was at that point. But I ended up moving out there thinking like, oh, if I could just get more wax in there, he'll have me in there. It'd be one of those things where I'm a regular, but you know, I just knew it. But I got to take the ultimate risk and move out here. Mm-hmm. So me and Rachel move. And in the first week, I don't call in, so I'm not getting spots. Don Barris was in town. He does a Don Barris and Friends. Duncan was supposed to do it. Duncan Trussell drops out, so they have an opening. I get hit up by Adam day of, like, hey, do you want to open for Don tonight? But I'd love to. It's in Little Boy. Gotcha, I'll be there. Apparently, Tony was standing there when Duncan dropped out. He's like, who do we use? Well, Matt's in town. So Tony Hinchcliffe, shout out. I mean, if he hadn't, I don't know what it would be if he didn't, stick up for his old boy. Yeah. But I went and I called open the Little Boy. And when I got off, I came back. That's when they're like, dude, just call in. Start calling in. And then, it was everything I wanted from the Comedy Store at the mothership. And it's been a dream. I mean, I do spots throughout the week. But then, I didn't know the whole scene as a whole, the whole Austin thing. That really unlocked it in a way where it kind of gave me access to all the clubs. Yeah. And so then I feel well-rounded out here. That's just one spot I play at. But they're all fucking, this is a great ass scene. These are actual comedy fans in Austin. Yes. Yeah. And that's not what in LA, well, in the heyday, it was comedy fans. But, I was there for a decade before that. And it was like anything. It was like people come out and they feel like going to a comedy show. Well, comedy show, comedy store, let's just go there. They're not like, which is fine. I love that. I love an audience no matter or whatever their intentions or expectations are. But there's something different when it's like fandom, like
people traveling to Austin just for comedy. Like they take a comedy vacation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is how diverse our scene is. And I think a lot of people just think, well, comedy is just downtown. And I said, no, because you can go to Georgetown and your jokes, like you learn to read audiences. If you want to be good, you're going to learn to read audiences here, because the jokes that work on this side of I-40 of downtown don't necessarily work on the east side of I-40. Yeah. And they may or may not work in Georgetown or Pflugerville. And Round Rock, they're just rich degenerates. They laugh at everything.
I feel like I do all my writing in the Little Boy. All the new stuff happens in the Little Boy. But they give me a lot of liberty in there. I know that's probably not like the real world. These are actual fans. So I'm always like, I got to keep that balance of taking this new stuff other places. Like I'll be at the Comedy Store this week because that's not the mothership. So I got to see if these LA crowds are into the shit I wrote here. Yeah. To me, that's the ultimate test. And then like afterwards, I know, I'll know more about these jokes. Where else I can take sure. them.
Yeah, the more places you can run it, the better.
Yeah, man. You got it. You can't, dude, a mistake that people would make at the store back in the day is say they get in, they're door guys, and then they get passed, and they just don't leave. Yeah. That's not, if your whole comedy life lives and dies at one club. You're not, dude, that's the biggest risk, because they could easily just go like, hey, I'm sorry, but we don't have anything else for you. Right. I watched it happen a lot. I watched people that were stars at one point. Now they're just not getting whoever the talent coordinator is doesn't see it the same way as the last guy. They spent all this time here and not out there, and it's over. Now you kind of got to start over out there. And then what do you say? Like, I used to be a paid regular. Put me on. Like dude, I watched.
You got to be able to take that joke everywhere. That's one of my favorite things, is going across this country and playing. Like, especially with Cody and I, the way we tour, we played some like BFU places, man. So when you're in Mississippi, Alabama, Opelika, Alabama, and you're like, does that joke you told downtown Austin transfer everywhere? And there's a lot of times I hate saying it. I see some of my Austin brethren hit the road, and I'll catch them somewhere, and I'll go, brother, you're riding for downtown. You gotta start diversifying. That set is not going to work anywhere else outside of downtown Austin. So,
well, like Ari Shaffir is, he's famous, but he believes in suffering to become great, and he refuses. If he moved here, he'd be way more rich, and he'd be way more famous here, right?
Oh yeah,
but he just. It's too easy. He loves New York City, where every time he goes on, there's people there that know him, but there's a lot of people that don't, and he needs that to gauge if this stuff's actually good. And I swear that's why it's great every time. It's like he's not catering to anyone. He's not catering to his fans. Those island headliners that basically like just stick to their crowds. You could blow up, dude. And you could. And by the way, that's the dream. You only play your crowds. Like that is the dream. But the thing about that is you'll get dull because you're first of all, this is all about a connection. It's all a connection up there. If you don't have to connect because they're there to see you, that's the connection. That is a dull connection. That is that doesn't work in a room where they don't know you. Oh, no. So you're not really getting like sufficient practice. You're making it easy.
Oh no, you're playing the game on easy mode.
Yeah,
definitely.
But again, I don't knock these guys because I feel like that's the dream, But I don't know. I'm in
Well, it's a dream to have your own fan base, but I mean, you should have the type of appeal where strangers are going to come in and get sucked in.
Honestly, and this goes all the way back to the thing about being just about the next joke is that when you really live that life, you're not necessarily looking for your own crowd. I don't feel like I'm looking for my own crowd.
No,
I feel like I'm in pursuit of greatness.
Yeah.
And that to me is way more easy to control. We barely have any control in this universe, especially when it comes to career. Like you can't say who your fans are going to be, and you can't make them show up, and you can't make them buy tickets. I mean, not yet. Maybe at some point you have a little bit more say in that. But the one thing that you can do no matter what is write your own jokes and practice your own jokes.
Yeah.
Create your own jokes. That's the most control you have in this world.
Oh man, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
Dude, when you start your cult, I'm gonna come be a member because hey, keep it simple is such a great motto.
I'm gonna have to when I start my cult. I'm gonna need you to rate the sex that goes on.
I got you.
I know you. I got a real pro.
Hey man, this girl's only a 3.5. You don't want that.
All right, thanks for letting me. I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. We gotta wrap it up. Thank you so much, Matt.
Where can they find you online?
Matt Edgar. And here's the thing. Here's a huge problem in my career that I've noticed throughout the years, but I'm really starting to see how much of a problem this has become. My name is spelt with one T. Matthew is supposed to have two T's. My mom misspelled it, and there's one T in my name.
Right.
So I've always gone by Matt Edgar, which is great for getting handles like Instagram, Twitter, because there's no Matt Edgar. It's rare that you find a Matt with one T. I met one the other day, but they're rare. We're rare.
Yeah.
But something that people keep coming up to and saying to me is that, hey, I saw you. So I saw you here this year, that year. Yeah. I went to look for you and I couldn't find you. And I'm just like, how many of those are there? A lot of people have said that, which means there's a lot more people that have been that. So it's all these followers that I could have had, but if only my name was spelled right.
I wonder if there's a way to link if someone types in.
So some people I've noticed, if you follow enough people that I follow and I'm like, I interact with, I will be the first Matt Edgar to pop up immediately, even if you do put two T's. Okay. But that you got to have we have to have the same followers following, like following the same people, all that. And that's still rare. Yeah. But no, it's like, it's like fucked me up. So Matt has one T in it. EDGAR and Instagram, everything. But that's the best place to find me.
Good deal. Awesome. Jimmy, where can we find you online? You say it every week, but hit them again.
Jimmy.Moynihan on Instagram. 2 M's, 1 Y.
I love it.
Oh, and you?
You can find me at Coach Silky, and I'm just being a menace online. In fact, that's my gamer tag, because nobody ever said my name Roderick right, or they add S to the end on McDaniel's, and it's McDaniel. It happens.
McDaniel.
Yeah. It happens so much. I never.
McDaniels.
He knows it. So I always hit people up. So I was just like Coach Silky, my Xbox gamer tag, and that's just people always find me, man. That way is keep it simple for 'em.
Easy peasy. And you can follow our podcast at Pain Management Podcast on YouTube, and you can watch it on Creek TV.
I have